Trying to decide between Jacksonville and Nocatee, Florida? This is one of the most common questions I get from families relocating to the Northeast Florida area. And honestly, it's not as simple as picking one over the other because they offer two very different lifestyles. And this is where a lot of people go wrong, like off the road wrong. They fall in love with a house or a community, either one, without really thinking about how their day to day life is going to look once they've made that decision. So, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the key differences between Jacksonville and Nocatee, so you can decide which one actually fits your family best. Hi, I'm Carrie Ann Kilpatrick, Let's Be Realty Girl with Florida Homes, Realty and Mortgage, and I help families make sweet moves here in Northeast Florida. If you're relocating to Jacksonville or trying to just figure out which area makes the most sense, this will give you a really solid starting point to make the best decision for you and your family. And here on my channel, you're going to find simple, straightforward videos that help you learn about the best Jacksonville neighborhoods for families, the best things to do, and understand the real cost of buying or selling and get honest homeowner tips that actually make your life easier. So I know there is a lot of noise out there, everyone telling you this or that. So my goal is to cut through the confusion so you feel prepared, supported, and excited whether you're moving across town or across the country. I am here to help. So all right, let's break this down. Jacksonville versus Nocatee. Overall feel and lifestyle. The biggest difference between Jacksonville and Nocatee really does come down to your lifestyle choices. Jacksonville is a large, established city with a mix of everything, different kinds of neighborhoods, very different price points, and a lot of variety in how you can live your day-to-day life. Nocatee, on the other hand, is a master planned community. Everything is designed, organized, and built around a certain lifestyle. It is very community focused, very, very family oriented. So if you're looking for something more structured and more predictable, Nocatee tends to appeal to that type of family. Now, if you prefer more variety and flexibility, Jacksonville offers a lot more options. Location and commute. I want to say this again, location and commute. This is where things start to matter a lot more than people expect. Jacksonville covers over 800 square miles. So where you live within Jacksonville will impact your commute significantly. Nocatee is located in Ponte Vedra, Florida, just south of Jacksonville, and is a lot closer to the beaches area. So depending on where you work, your commute could look very different depending. For example, Nocatee to the beaches areas, very convenient, right off A1A, pretty simple. But Nocatee to downtown Jacksonville can be 30 to 45 minutes depending on the traffic that day. So if you're working in the South Side or hospital area like Mayo, commute becomes a major factor in this decision. Next, schools and family appeal. Both Jacksonville and Nocatee attract families, but for slightly different reasons. Nocatee is known for being very, very family focused with access to St. Johns County schools, which many people specifically seek out. In Jacksonville, school quality can vary more depending on the area, so you have more choices, but you also need to be more intentional about location and what you want that school to be for your family. For many families, this piece alone can heavily influence their final decision. Housing and community style. Another one that's very, very different in the two spaces. So Nocatee is primarily newer construction. What you will find there are planned communities. Each development is very planned. Amenities like pools, parks, and bike and walking trails, more uniform home styles, cookie cutter neighborhoods. And in Jacksonville, it offers a much wider range. It really feels a lot like a lot of different places all in the same city. So you can get a lot of different options. So new construction in certain areas, older established neighborhoods like Riverside, larger lots and more variety like in the north side. So this really comes down to preference. Do you really want new, planned, and consistent, or established, varied, and more flexible? Those are really the choices. So next is cost and value. And this is another one that I say all of these are important, but this is another big one. This is another big difference between Jacksonville and Nocatee. Nocatee typically comes with a higher price point, especially when you factor in amenities and the high demand for the area. You are paying for community design, amenities, and there will be a lot of them, school access, and location, which is more near the beach. Jacksonville offers a wider range of price points. You're going to find more space, definitely, in Jacksonville, larger lots, especially in the north side, lower entry price points depending on the area, like South Side versus Atlantic Beach. So a budget is a key factor for you. Jacksonville may give you a lot more flexibility and choices. Day-to-day living. This is the piece that ties everything else together. And in Nocatee, day-to-day life is very community-centered. There are events, shared spaces, and a built-in neighborhood feel. It's very self-contained. In Jacksonville, your lifestyle depends heavily on where you live. Some areas are more suburban and quiet. Others are more active or walkable, especially in the beaches area. So the question becomes, how do you want your everyday life to feel? And how do you want to spend your time? And this is exactly why this decision matters so much, because it's not just about choosing your next house, it's about choosing how your family is going to live every single day. I put together a free real estate cost of buying a home guide to help you plan your budget without any surprises, because those are never fun. You can also grab my free buyer checklist and request a home value snapshot, all linked below. Everything that'll be really helpful for you. And if you're trying to figure out which area makes the most sense for your situation, Jacksonville or Nocatee, that's exactly what I help people with every single day. And if you want help narrowing it down or deciding where to start, there's also a link below where you can schedule a free one-on-one call with me where we can sort of just talk about things a little more detailed. So if you're ready to make your next move, your sweetest one yet, hit subscribe and start exploring the playlist right here on my channel. I'm so happy that you're here. Let's be Realty Girl together. I'll see you in the next video.